In this K2 quick brief, I'm going to give you a quick overview of the K2 mobile story and how we can enable your mobile workers out in the field with forms and workflow on just about any device. So before we get started, let's talk a little bit about what a business app is comprised of. And if you look at K2's platform, there's 4 pillars: forms, workflow, data, and reports. You can combine these pillars in any way, shape, or fashion to create customized business apps with no code. So the mobile challenge today is you've got workers out in the field that need real-time access to information from your enterprise line of business systems. So that data can be surfaced through forms, reports, and workflow. But what you really need is an app platform to give you the ability to surface that information. So K2's solution, revolving around those 4 pillars, gives your workers the ability to open up forms and kick off workflows and action tasks from just about any device. The solution revolves around 4 different pieces of the puzzle. The first is mobile forms, which can be opened in a browser and are responsive to just about any device or form factor. You've got the K2 mobile application, which lets you action tasks and use application forms out in the field to enter information, and thus you can kick off workflows. And then finally, anybody that's email enabled has the ability to action tasks through our Smart Actions capability, where we send an email with task information. You can just reply to the email to actually action a task and continue in the workflow. So let's go ahead and do a little demo setup before I get into the demonstration. We've got a mythical company called Denalix Heavy Industries. It's a construction company, and they've got workers out in the field that are doing safety and equipment maintenance type of functions. Now what you're going to see are forms that are backed by, in this case, a fairly simple workflow, but you could get as complex as you need from a process perspective. So let's go ahead and turn on one of my mobile devices. And in this example, I've got the K2 application running on my iPad. So if you look, the initial screen that you're seeing right now is actually our task screen, where you can see all the tasks that are assigned to you from a workflow perspective. You can look at the different items that you have. But what I want to start with is our forms. So if I go ahead and click our forms, you'll see a number of forms that are assigned to me. And I'm actually going to go into my heavy equipment safety inspection form. So if you take a peek at this, we've got a number of fields. I'm going to go ahead and we'll go ahead and type in an equipment ID. Now understand that with our workflow and applications platform, I could auto assign these tasks to individuals, but in this example we're just going to do a real basic data entry. I'm going to go ahead and click my equipment type. I'll go ahead and click Caterpillar. And what you're going to notice here is that the next drop box is refined based on the type of equipment that I pick. So if I pick a cat, you can see that I've got just cat type of devices. If I pick Bobcat, I've got Bobcat type devices. So we'll pick a Bobcat S550. We're out on the Port of LA job site. You can see that it auto-entered my inspection date, and my inspector name was auto-populated based on an Active Directory lookup and my login. So I can come in here and do my quick safety inspection, and as Bob, I'm going through, and when I get to my hydraulic inspection, I find that we've got some broken valves within the hydraulic system. So I can come in here and I can type some notes. We'll say we have a hide leak, and we are going to require maintenance. We're going to do non-emergency maintenance, but this equipment is non-operational. Now, as I'm filling out these different form fields, I'm going to have the ability to trigger different actions and different workflows and notifications and tasks based on that information that's entered. So I'm going to say that there's parts required. We'll go ahead and we'll upload a couple pictures of the broken hydraulic equipment. And we'll say that this inspection is incomplete pending maintenance. Now note that I've got my equipment ID 345654, and we'll go ahead and submit this item. So I've done my inspection, I've noticed something wrong. Now that I've completed the form, it's actually kicked off a workflow. So there's a couple things that are going to happen in the workflow. Let's go ahead and step out of Bob's shoes, and now we're going to pretend that we're actually one of the maintenance supervisors out in the field. And let's check our inbox. So let's go ahead, and you can see that immediately there's actually a new maintenance review required. And if I come in, I can click on my form, and you'll notice that this is a very similar form, but it's going to auto-populate all the information that the inspector entered. So this supervisor can come through really quickly, look at the type of issue that's occurring. They can look at the maintenance type, they can get a quick view of the pictures, and then they can action the task. All right, so they can come in and do a dispatch to get somebody out, and the workflow can continue on and on and on. Okay, so now that we've seen all the mobile capabilities from a mobile process perspective, let me go ahead and turn off my mobile device, and let's look at some of the email things that have been submitted. So as part of this workflow, once that safety inspection is done, I'm actually going to send a notification to the originator of the task. And you're going to see that I've included some of that form information in the email. So I'm going to kick back a note to Bob and say, hey, the safety inspection has been submitted. It includes information from the form as well as those 2 images. So you can use email as an enabler out there in the field as well. And then I've also auto-assigned a maintenance supervisor task. Now, this is the email smart actions that I talked about, where you can actually open up the work list. Okay, so let's say that the maintenance supervisor is in the office. He or she can open up their email, they can click on that and actually action the task and review it from there, or they can just respond to the email to continue the workflow. All right, so that's a quick overview of how you can enable mobile users. And like I said, the sky's the limit, and you're only limited by your imagination on the types of things that you can build to enable those mobile workers. If you have any questions, go to K2, hit contact us, and you can see a more in-depth demo. Thanks.